Hey guys, it's Max Convexity. Sorry this report's kind of late tonight. I'll try to hurry and we'll get it done. I've been working on a bunch of other stuff. Alright, here is the profit box for Russell. And let's look at the numbers for Russell. Russell sold 677 puts at the 2080 level for call it $13. 13 minus 1280 is 2067. 2067 is our break even. We're going for a max profit of $873,000. Bring us to $1.11 positive on the month. That's insane. That's so good. So nice to see that. Look at this stuff. Look at this dividend estimate. Don't go buy it because of this. I mean, just because they figured it this way 1 or 2 months doesn't mean they'll always figure it this way. So take that with a huge grain of salt. The last time I said IWMY was going to have a big dividend, I was using a different method to calculate, granted. And I had just started, but oh my God, I felt so bad. Please, no one buy this. Do not buy this. Please do not buy this. If you happen to buy it last month, good for you. But, oh my gosh. All right. JEPY, these guys sold 269 contracts at the 5230 level for, we'll call that $15. 15 minus 5230 is 5215. So that's the break even. That's the number we're rooting for the SPX to be over. Max profit is 400,000, which would be about a 5 cents a share winner, but it would take these guys to 28 cents a share positive on the month. I mean, which isn't too bad. Not too shabby. Triple QY, these guys sold 159 puts at the 18280 level for $90.81. So we'll call that $91. 91 minus 18280 is 18189. So that's the number we need to close. Have the NASDAQ, the NDX, close over by 3 o'clock tomorrow Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern. Be a total profit of $1.4 million. I forgot to do this. Man, it would bring these guys to the positive. Look at that. We're even now. It'd make these guys go positive. That would be insane after the way it started off. I mean, look at all those losses. I mean, this little run right here where it had, 5 losses in 6 days? My Lord. And it's not like they were small losses. One of them was 3.7 and one of them was 2.5. Of course, that's kind of the nature of these short put funds. They have bigger losses than they have winners, but the winners are like 72% of the time. They have more winners, but the amounts are smaller. Anyway, whatever they're doing it better lately. Let's just say that. The middle of the month, it was not looking great. Really, in that stretch there, right there, was that 5, 6, 7? They had 7 losses out of 10 days, and not small losses. One of them $5 million, one of them 3.7. I mean, and one of them 2.5, but it came 2 days after $1.8 million. So I mean, those are just shellackings it got. But they've about worked their way out of the hole, or they have worked their way out of the hole. They're with $15,000 from being totally out of the hole right now, as of today. This bottom line is if they get the winner tomorrow. I bet they do, though. We closed on the highs today. I bet tomorrow we have some follow through. All right, what should we look at next? What do you guys think Old Tress is doing? Still in the valley of death, of course. Maybe tomorrow to get out of it. The good thing is it went so low, I was almost thinking maybe it'll bust out the bottom of it. It's cool that the trade can make money in either direction. It just can't make money in no direction. Let's look at the buffer report. Then I'll let you guys go. It's late. Here's the NASDAQ High Yield Complex. Most of these underlines are NASDAQ. There's an S&P right there, XDTE. But let's see what was the standout. I mean, besides ULTY being up almost 3%. IQQQ was stout today, very stout. QDTE had a hell of a day. But all these other days were within acceptable parameters. SVOL, that's not really SVOLs. SVOL didn't underperform by that much. I'm just using the S&P for SVOL's underline. I have to use something. But the SVOL's really steady, but it doesn't have a lot of upside, but it wins almost every day. It's just a kind of a slow and steady fund, or it seems to win all the time, but small amounts. It's a nice fund. SPY-T looked pretty nice. I'm surprised it's not outperforming the market, though. I guess the market didn't go up far enough. If the market goes up really far, like 1.5% or 2%, it should definitely outperform, I would think. Maybe not, though. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one. FEPI. Looking pretty good. Caught about 90% of the upside, 95% maybe. YMAG and YMAX both look good. Coney Misty. Back at it. Back at it. The only one on the negative is really Murney. And AMDY. All right, here's the S&P ones. QDT, of course, a standout. It was on the last chart, too. All of these look good. Really, you would just want to say JEPI, maybe. JEPI, the mighty JEPI, the $35 billion fund, was kind of the underperformer. JEPY did a lot better. I've been showing the chart between JEPY and JEPI a lot lately. And because JEPY is ahead now, and I'm a Defiance fan, so but it's close. It's close, but I mean, today will help JEPY keep that lead. JEPY just passed the 6-month mark the other day, so we have half a year's data on it. I realize 6 months is not a very big data set to be making conclusions. I'm not saying JEPY is a better fund than JEPI. JEPY is more interesting to me, if not for nothing else, because of the dividend it spits off. But yeah, it's not without its risk. JEPI is a great fund. The past six, all you can say, just being honest, the past 6 months, JEPY has been a better investment if you look at total return. And it doesn't mean it will continue to be a better investment. It just has been. We'll see how it looks after a year. All right, let's look at stock index futures. Then I'll let you guys go. That's just a face ripper today. That's out of control. So look, the day finished here. Here's 4 o'clock Eastern. So we're already up, another more than 0.5%. And we're on the highs. We closed on the highs. We closed on the highs and outside of the Bollinger Bands. That's a double bullish signal. Doesn't always work, though. We closed outside of the Bollinger Bands that day, and the next day, it didn't work right away, let's just say. And it doesn't, lots of times, closing outside of the Bollinger Bands is a fake out. But there's lots of times if you close outside of the Bollinger Bands at the end of the day, especially towards the end of the week, I'm saying I bet we close higher on into Friday. I bet we roll up into Friday. See what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin was kind of looking head and shoulder toppy to me. Maybe that being the head, that could be a shoulder, maybe that's a shoulder, this is a shoulder, whatever. Well, now that was before it came up and did this. But anyway, I was just looking at maybe this, this, and this, and calling that a head and shoulders, or calling this and this shoulders and this formation the head. In any event, when it gets underneath here, you know, and I thought, okay, well, measure the distance between the top and, you know, the bottom, and project that point downwards, and you can almost expect that. It didn't quite get that far, but anyway, what it's really looking like, and I'm generally a perma bull, but right here looks like a prime. Let's look at this. Right here is a prime level. The market got there and was failing continuously, but then when it passed it, it came back and checked it, and then went higher, came back and checked it again, went higher. You know, eventually came back and checked it, and then fell, and then went underneath it, came back and checked it from the other side, went further, came back and checked it again, and that's not looking bullish. That's looking bearish. It looks like it came back and checked this point where it failed last time. Appears to be failing now. I'm no whiz at technical analysis, though. It's just fun to look at charts. Look at that Coinbase chart. My God, you want to talk about closing outside of the Bollinger Bands and closing on the highs of the day. I believe that's still the strike they have, too. Here's some Tesla for you. Look at that. Closed outside of the Bollinger Bands and on the highs of the day. The big clue was whenever it got outside of the Bollinger Bands down here, that certainly was not a fake out. That got some follow through. And then it came back and retested the breakout, which is, you know, retested the gap or whatever that it made. And it succeeded there. Then as soon as it took out that high right there, which it did today, you know, that's bullish as could be. The next thing, maybe it'll come back and test this breakout. It'll back down through to here and then up. But it doesn't always come back and retest the breakout. It could just keep going too. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you guys go. You guys have a good one. Everything looks like it's up right now. I don't know if we checked Russell, but Russell's on the high of the night. S&P's on the high of the night. This thing's blowing up. All right, guys, have a good night.